Hey, what's up guys? This is Matt from Force Fitness and Performance with another walkie-talkie bloggy thing. This week I wanted to share with you a really cool concept I learned about from movement recently that I think can apply in lots of different spheres. And this is the idea of attractors and flexors. So essentially what we've come to understand in movement is that the brain organizes itself. There's too many possibilities. If you think about the potential ranges of motion at each joint in your body at any given time, there are almost infinite possibilities for how your body can organize itself, okay? So really impractical for the brain to have to process where all of those things should be all the time when it's trying to move and perform dynamic, whether athletic movements or just even pulling groceries out of the car and walking into your house. There's too many potential variables. Too much processing power is required. So what we do is we essentially attract and hold steady many of those variables. So basically, most of those variables are off the table. We're not even thinking about them. They're automatic and they're kind of glued in. And only a couple of those things are flexors, are things that we are going to consciously modify and adjust to. So think of this like when you're learning a new movement. In the beginning, say a squat, what tends to happen is we see lots of excess movement in a squat. There's the back rounding, there's knees caving in, there's feet turning out. All these different things are kind of happening in that squat position. And over time, through practice and repetition, our body learns how to hold certain pieces as immovable so that it can focus on the pieces that it wants to spend its time focusing on in order to do a good squat and pay attention to doing it well, okay? So that's just cool brain science. For me, movement science. But what I think is really interesting is if we start thinking about attractors and flexors in our lives, in our habits, in our actions. What are the things that are so automated right now for us that they don't even seem like a possibility that we could change it, right? It just happens automatically. What are the things that we're spending all of our conscious thought and time focusing on, feeling like this is where my attention needs to be in order to do this thing well? Likely there's going to be something in your life that is automated that you isn't benefiting you. You're not, the automation is actually not great for you. And there's also something in your life where you're spending so much time and energy on it, but letting go of it and not letting that be the central thing that you focus on, automating that in some way is gonna totally change your life. Let me give you an example. So I focus a lot of time and energy on getting good quality sleep in, okay? And I used to freak out about it all the time. I'd just be thinking about it all the time. Am I gonna get to bed at the right time? The kids are up a little late. That's gonna mess with this, that's gonna mess with this. No, what am I gonna do, right? And so something that's really stressful. But I could take that kind of thing that was really flexible in my sleep time and make it more automated by creating routines, creating a bedtime routine that I involved my kids in, that signaled to them that it was time to go to bed. So now the kids are out of town and I've actually found I sleep worse. So before I used to freak out when they were going to keep me up late or something was going to go on. I sleep worse with them gone because now I've created a habit loop and a tractor, something that's set in stone. When I walk out of the bedroom after putting my daughter down, my son's out on the couch and he immediately sees me. The lights are down low, everything's going on. He says, "Daddy, I'm ready for bed," every time. And even if I would have gone around and started messing with something and getting distracted and not gone to bed right away, I say, okay, and now I know it's time to take him to bed, and once I take him to bed, I'm totally out. I'm done. Now that they're gone, that's become flexible again. It's not a tractor anymore, and now I'm having trouble finding my sleep. So that's one example of taking something that's consuming a lot of time and effort and kind of emotional stress and turning it into something that's regimented. It can be the other way too though, right? So we could have something that we do every day, an action that we do every day, and potentially isn't benefiting us. This could be a mindset, it could be thoughts you tell yourself about your self-worth and am I good at this, am I bad at this? It could be habits we have around food and preparing food. It could be movement habits, like I'm just in the habit of always sitting on the couch when I get home instead of maybe getting on the floor, and making that something that's important to me for a while. So my challenge to you guys is think of one thing that feels flexible, and because it's flexible and it's taking so much focus and energy and attention, we need to automate it in order to make it smoother, make the movement smoother, relieve some of that attention. And I also want you to try to think of one thing right now that happens without you even really thinking about it or paying attention to, that we could move into our brain space in order to make a conscious change for the better. Hope that helps. Have a great week, guys, and we'll see you next time.